this Crathie Kirk, which the Queen knew well. This is where she came during her stays at Balmoral. She used to worship here, come for prayer and for music, sitting in the pews to the side, and that's her seat right in the middle. I can tell you, in the days after she passed away, members of the royal family came here together with members of the royal household, and they had a small private service of prayer and of music, leaving that seat empty. Some of that music was provided by this man, Paul Anderson, a violinist. And Paul, you played for the Queen over the years, occasionally at Balmoral, in here, Crathie Kirk. Tell me, 11 days on, in this part of the world where she passed away, what's the mood today?
Without being able to speak for everybody, I would say it's probably reflective. It was sad. The Queen was a neighbour up here, very well known to the local communities, and folk have kind of come to terms with it, but until the funeral happens, I think it'll be very much thinking of the Queen after today, probably looking more at the future with the new King. But yeah, she'll be a big miss, and I think folk will genuinely miss her.
We've seen you on Skye News before, Paul. We're here today because you have composed a tune, a lament for Queen Elizabeth. And Kay, we're going to leave you with Paul playing this new tune. Just briefly, before you start playing, Paul, tell me why. Why compose this in her memory?
Well, I compose a lot of music, Scottish traditional music, and I have to say that, well, it's such a big event in Aubrey's life that it's certainly one of these things that, as a musician and composer, I responded to. So I wrote this just last week, a quiet moment.
All right, Paul, well, let's hear it, and you'll play us out with this. By the altar in Crathie Kirk that the Queen knew so well. Take it away.
From Crathie Kirk, near Balmoral, where the Queen died, to Windsor Castle, which will be her final resting place. Becky is on the long walk before us, where people are already gathering in the hope of catching a glimpse of Her Majesty's coffin as she makes her final journey home. Becky.
Hi Kay, yes, we are here at the Long Walk in Windsor, where the Queen's coffin will pass up here later towards St George's Chapel in the